name is Sheila Watko. I'm from NBC Philadelphia. So lovely to meet all of you. I absolutely love this movie. So slick and sexy and witty. My whole audience was laughing at some parts of it. So really, really good to meet you today. Cate, I'm going to start with you. This is your third time working with Steven Soderbergh. And I read that all you said when he asked you to be part of the film before even reading the script was, what role am I playing? And what a juicy character. Catherine has us on the edge of our seats and keeping us guessing until the very end of the movie. When you're working with a script like this, where there's so much deception, so much sarcasm, red herrings, suspicious moments, as an actor, is your hope to throw the audience off, or are you wanting us to figure out who the mole is by the end? And how do you kind of balance that in how you play the character?
Yeah, you have to be alive to how Steven is going to shoot it, because he sets himself a challenge in every film he makes, and in this one, it was the impossibility of doing two 13-page scenes around a dinner table with six actors. But for me, everyone's a suspect. And there's high stakes between George, played by Michael Fassbender, and Catherine, my character, who plays his wife. That she's also a suspect. So it was trying to keep alive a sense of distance for the audience, so they didn't know who Catherine was, but yet could lean in and be interested. So hopefully I've done that, but you have certainly done that. I was suspicious of everyone. Naomie, I would say I was least suspicious of you at first. You seemed the most trustworthy, kind of what you Oh, that's always the most.
That's always the one. And then I was like, wait, maybe not. And I read, Naomie, that we saw you have a very intense and crucial scene with Cate in Zoe's office. And I understand that the two of you were a little nervous to shoot this because you actually didn't get to rehearse it before you actually shot it on set. So I was wondering, it was so tense and thrilling to watch. Do you think that the final product ended up benefiting from preparing individually, but shooting it together for the first time? And how do you think that kind of helped you in the moment?
Well, Soderbergh doesn't really like to rehearse, right? That's not his, So most of the scenes are done like that. Sometimes we'll do a line run so that he could understand, like with the dinner party scenes, that's when we did line runs. But he would always say, like, please don't give it your all, like, don't act it, just literally say the lines, because he wants to capture all the magic for the first time on film. And I think there is something very nerve-wracking and exhilarating about doing that. But I think it is the way that magic is created as well, because everything is so fresh and you don't know what your partner is going to give you. And I actually find it terrifying, but also secretly love it at the same time.
But we didn't even read that scene.
No, we didn't.
We literally, he'd put two cameras on and I walked into the room and we just started.
Yeah.
And so we hadn't even run the lines to get that. But that's the thing about Steven is he casts who he wants to cast, and everyone said yes and fortunately was available. And then he just trusts they're going to do their job like he does his job.
Mm-hmm. How impressive too, because with such a big cast, you would think that there would be at least maybe one screw that maybe didn't fit with the rest, but you guys were all so tight together in those long extended scenes. I didn't realize that about the way you work. So that's extra impressive. Really, really cool. Now, Tom, Freddie, charming, but our loose cannon. I did love your character so much. And we were all laughing in the audience at our screening. I read that a few of you met with real life operatives and spies to learn more about some unclassified elements of the job. What was the most interesting that you took away from your conversations with the operatives? And how did you use it to inform how you played Freddie?
That it's some kind of balancing act between honoring whatever's actually going on in your nervous system at the time, that you have to it's better to go with things than block them. You're kind of stripping away and leaving out details rather than adding in anything unnecessary.
And Cate, you couldn't find a spy to talk to, is that correct?
I read a couple of novels, actually. There's a really interesting one called Berta Isla, which is a Spanish novel that charts the relationship of a young woman from an aristocratic family who, unbeknownst to her, marries a spy. And so it underscored for me, once again, like how difficult it is to maintain a relationship and what a miracle Catherine and George's relationship is. But I did read quite a few interviews with people who had left the service, women, and something that they said was that there's such a profound misogyny within the service. that women can actually, because people don't suspect them, don't expect them to be competent, don't expect them to be sent into the field, that they can often get a nuanced pieces of information that male operatives can't, because they always fly under the radar. And I found that really interesting. The film doesn't necessarily deal with that, but I found that really interesting.
It's really interesting. And the women stole the show, though. Tom, and I'm not just saying that because you're in here, you were my other, like, you made me laugh so much.
Honorary female.
And our three ladies, you guys were so excellent. The whole movie was wonderful. Thank you so much for such a fun movie to kick off the year. So good luck with everything. And,
Thank you.
so lovely to-
Go and see it in cinemas.
Guys,
Kate and Tom, break a leg on the West End. I know you're in the Steagle.
Thank you.
Have a good one, guys. So good to meet you.
Bye.
you too.